Welcome to Florida Gators Live, episode number 62, presented by FanDuel. Man, what a week it's been. I know we're supposed to do our shows. We're late here, guys. We're a couple days late here. We're supposed to do our shows on Wednesday, but I'm kind of glad that we were able to push it back to Wednesday because Tuesday is really where everything started breaking down, and then we had a lot more stuff also come out today. So I'm a bit glad that we waited to be able to talk about our transfer portal class so far today instead of it was a bit more doom on Sunday compared to what it is now, where I've preached patience. I'm like, hey, I'm not worried until I see the final class. But when Jontez Williams committed to USC, none of our top transfer additions were committing. Like Emmanuel but I'm not Emmanuel, the D lineman. Sorry, I probably should have looked at that before, but
I respect the effort for trying to do that just off the top of your head, though. I do respect the challenge you gave yourself there.
But like our top players who were visiting in the portal hadn't committed yet. It was getting a bit worrisome. But then Tuesday, everything starts coming out and feeling a lot better than we were, 48 hours ago.
Yeah, anything we would have said on Sunday would have aged pretty terribly, honestly, because, I wasn't even, completely down, but, there was not much to be, up about. There just wasn't a lot of positive news. There was a little bit of negative news. I know just the general fan base sentiment was pretty down. I think they've done a good job of reversing that in the last few days. I don't think Florida's haul has been, absolutely elite, but, to be honest, Jontez Williams is a great example, and we'll get into more of the specifics of these guys, but USC apparently dropped an absolute bag for him. I'm not saying Florida can't afford to drop bags, but Florida also needed to take a lot of transfers, and you're seeing that. They already have taken a lot. So you kind of got to be judicious with which bags you hand out and where. So I think that's kind of part of the process here. Just the fact that Florida needed help at all kinds of areas. But as we sit here on Wednesday, and there's kind of one major domino we're waiting to fall that could fall while we're live here even. But I think as things stand here, I think they've addressed most, not all, but most of the areas of concern.
Yeah, I agree. We'll talk more about it. First, I kind of want to start the show off, not mainly Gator related. I want the Jags. Jags, 3 seed, have a big win over the Titans. Not like we were too worried about that. Hosting the Bills. I think this is the toughest matchup in the AFC. I think this would be my prediction if we were on different sides of the bracket. I think these are the 2 best teams in the AFC, and
really,
yeah. I'm just glad we're going to be at home. I think it's Jacksonville 1, and then I think there's 2 teams, Houston and Buffalo, that are pretty close together. And then I think the Patriots, Broncos, and Chargers, and then Ravens? No, Steelers made it out the AFC North and the field goal. Crazy stuff there. Harbaugh fired. We're not getting into that. But big game for the Jags against the Bills. Jags, terrible run defense according to NFL. You see that?
No, what?
Oh man, I can't remember if it was an ESPN or NFL guy came out and said that, hey, the Jags don't have a great run defense, or they said we get a bad run defense.
The number 1 run defense in the NFL.
It got community noted that the Jags have the number 1 run defense in the NFL.
I love that.
So, we're not going to break down it. We're not going to get into this really too much. I just wanted to be like, hey, Jags, big game Sunday. I'm kind of glad. I'm not glad. I wanted it to be a night game. But if it was a night game, we'd have to push our show out the way for that. So, at least especially if we win, though, Sunday night, we'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, it might have to be delayed slightly, just depending on how everything plays out, because I will be at this game live and in the flesh. I'm very excited about it. So hoping I witness an all-time Jags win and not a heartbreaking playoff loss against Josh Allen. But either way, it should be very fun.
Yeah, I was planning to go. And I was like, hey, last time in 2022, they had the standing room only section for $50. Yeah, tickets aren't $50 for this game.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Have you had your tickets bought for a minute, or
not for a minute. I'm going with my dad, and we got him. I think we got him on like Monday or something like that. So yeah, they were not. It's not a cheap game to get into. But
no,
I haven't been to a Jack playoff game before, and these opportunities don't come very often. So splurged on that one.
Yeah. Hey, JLB, we're not ignoring you. Hello, of course. Getting very sports. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Do you guys have a list of 5 players or so that you'd like to see us grab out of the portal?
I already grabbed a lot of them, man. I'm trying to think like if I have 5 more off the top of my head.
I think I can do this. Okay, so I'll say Jaden Woods. You know, if retaining him, I think he should be number 1 right now.
Okay. I
mean, he's in the portal. Like, he is officially in the portal.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I'll say Cam Vaughn from Jacksonville State is currently on campus. He would be that 3rd starting wide receiver. I'd really like the wide receiver room with Dallas, VB3, Bailey Stockton, Davian Gross, TJ Abrams. Really great depth there and great high-end talent as well.
Sorry, from West Virginia via Jacksonville State, right? Wasn't he at West Virginia?
Yes, West Virginia. Yes. Yeah. He's from West Virginia. Sorry, yeah. I got that wrong.
Originally, it was at Jacksonville State, followed Rich Rod to West Virginia, and was their leading receiver this year, I believe.
Yeah, I think they had a run heavy offense, so 500 yards probably was leading receiver. So I don't have a name. I don't know who it's going to be. A starting corner.
Yeah.
We still need another corner, so I don't know if there's someone on my mind that I can think of, but I would expect us to still go out looking for that. We need a defensive tackle. I think we still need at least another defensive tackle, a starting defensive tackle. So I'd like to see us do that. But there's someone else on campus right now who I'm forgetting. QB running back.
I saw there's
a tight end.
That Georgia tight end, right? Yeah, the
Georgia
one who had to medically retire. Wait, was it Georgia Tech's tight end or because there's also the Georgia?
So there's both.
Yeah, okay.
Georgia Tech's freshman tight end and Georgia's. You know, he had heart surgery. I'm pretty sure Pierce Spurlin,
unmedically retired. Retired. Yeah, Pierce Spurlin, I think is right.
Yeah, I prefer. I mean, take both. Why not? But the Georgia Tech tight end, you know, healthier. He produced. He's apparently close with Philo Moore. Oh, Harrison, or is it Harrison Moore?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Georgia Tech center. Yeah, it's so we'll say them, but I expect us to be still taking a couple more names.
So Moore has not officially committed, despite reports to that effect, right?
Yeah, it's just a waiting game. When I'm pretty sure he's still on campus until tomorrow.
Okay.
For his visit. So I would expect a commitment, if not tonight, tomorrow. I would have said Cam Dooley, but he committed not too long ago.
Yeah, that must have been. I was on the road before we went live, and I didn't even see that until I pulled up the transfer list right before we hopped on. So I guess they closed
3 hours ago. Is that when he committed? Great addition there. We'll get a bit more into that. But yeah, I mean, you just want to start off with these offensive portal additions here so far?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Florida Gators have kicked off their offensive portal class. Nothing too major at this point just yet. We'll start off here with the QB, the leader of the team, really, Aaron Philo. Now, we're bringing in Philo. He's not guaranteed to get the starting job. There still is going to be Tramel Jones. There's reports, older reports, that Florida still wants to go and get another QB. We haven't heard any names yet for who that would be, but there's still plenty of time for us to go and look around if we want to do that. Even though I'd still expect us to start Aaron Philo, I'd expect him to win the job. You know, bring him from Georgia Tech. He is Buster Faulkner's guy. Accurate QB, throwing for a lot of football, throwing for a lot of yards in high school. Being behind someone who finished 10th in the Heisman odds isn't some big negative. You know, he was a backup. He's not proven. He's played a decent bit with Haynes King. Having a lot of injuries last year when Philo was a freshman, and then this past year played a lot in the Georgia or Gardner Webb game, if I'm not mistaken.
He started that game, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure right there. So, not someone with a lot of experience. You look at who's been in the portal, and there's a lot of guys that thrown for a lot of yards and ran for a lot of yards that people probably would have rather us gone after. And I can, you know, if we wouldn't have went and got those guys, I'd be happy all the same. But I do think there is something to spending. I mean, those guys are going for a lot of money. And we're not going to get into the Damon Williams stuff here, although I think Damon Williams is the best QB in the portal.
I mean, I'd love him, but
yeah, I think I would take him. I would prefer him over the other players currently in the portal. But I think there's something to the fact that a Brandon Sorsby or Sam Levitt, or how much is Sam Levitt going to make at this point? But those QBs, Rocco Becht getting paid $4 million plus to go be a 1-year QB there. I think there's something to maybe spending less money on QB like Aaron Philo, where you're going to probably get him if he's good enough for a couple of years. And I mean, I don't think those QBs, Sorsby or Levitt, maybe Williams, but $6 million for him, I don't know if he's worth $6 million. I don't think spending that much on those QBs is really that much worth it.
No, I think that's fair. Talking about the prospect of adding another quarterback, like I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but I don't expect it to be like a top name. I mean, Florida, from all accounts, was not really in on any of these top guys. I never really heard Florida coming up for any of them. So, I mean, I think that's pretty clear. Look, part of it's what I talked about earlier. Like, you've got to fill out a pretty big transfer class here. Like, you can't go spending it all on one quarterback. I mean, with that being said, I think Philo, I mean, look, he's an unproven guy. I mean, it's hard to say, has seen pretty limited action against opponents with a pulse and little up and down when he has. I mean, I think this is an area where you went and got Faulkner because you believe in him. I think you got to, if he wants this guy, I think you got to trust that, he knows what he's got there because he's seen him for 2 years now. Mm-hmm. So I think, I mean, I'm interested to see, like you said, you expect him to be the starter. Like I do too. I think there's some segment of the fan base that kind of seems to think it's going to be Trammell. I mean, I'll say this, if Trammell wins this job, especially if it's like he runs away with it, that says a lot about Trammell, because that Philo's, because Philo's coming in with the inside track here. Not only is he the higher paid one.
Offense.
Was that?
He's the experienced player in the offense. He knows Faulkner's offense.
Yeah, he knows Faulkner's offense. He's their handpicked guy, and he's, I presume, going to be the higher paid of the two. So, I mean, if Trammell were to win that job, that would mean he made a pretty strong impression on the new staff, and I think that would be encouraging. But I would agree with you. I don't think they took Philo to be a backup. I don't think Philo comes if he doesn't think he's got a pretty solid chance of winning that job.
Yeah, I would agree. Next, we can go on to the running back. Evan Pryor from Cincinnati, formerly of Ohio State, ran, I don't have his stats up. Let me actually pull those up. I think it was about 500 yards, 600 yards maybe.
522, 6.9 a carry. 6.9 a carry.
The last 2 seasons, Philo has averaged 7.5 yards a carry in 2024 and 6.9 yards a carry in 2025 for Cincinnati. Really quick, fast running back. I think this is a great addition. There's some. He committed before Ball announced he was returning. Yeah, that's something he's probably actually got into before this. But he committed before Ball announced he was returning. Although there was already some belief that Ball was going to return by that point. So it was great to know that we were going to have an RB2 that has a lot of experience at that RB2 position, but also someone who's really fast. I think he's going to be a great pairing with Ball, who isn't the fastest, but, Ball's going to break tackles. He's going to wear down a defense, and then Evan Pryor can come in, and he's just going to be quicker than, anyone else in that front seven and even some DBs there. So I think this was a great addition for this running back room, and I still expect us to take another running back. I know the East Carolina running back is currently on a visit here, so put that fifth body in the room.
Yeah, I really agree with you. I think this is a great compliment for Baugh. I think kind of gives you a nice change of pace back there with a smaller, more shifty guy versus Baugh, who's just a, vision and power and tough to bring down. I think it really does look like right now Florida's got something of an embarrassment of riches in the running back room. And I think when you pair that with what they've got at receiver, I mean, I think if you can get at least solid offensive line play and one of these two quarterbacks works out, you've got the makings of a pretty good offense, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I guess we can talk a little bit about Ball returning. We know who Ball is. Ran for 1,000 yards last year, second team All SEC. So it's kind of just nice to put Texas in the locker for Jaden Ball, and something that's becoming pretty familiar now. We hope soon, but getting Jaden Ball back, great stuff by the staff. I know that, basically every all the offensive staff around him flew up to Atlanta to go and meet with him about a week ago. This was actually, so it took a while for him to officially announce that he was returning, but you're getting him back. It's great for optics, I think. He's a great running back. Running back still, we've talked about it. Running back is a bit more replaceable than almost any other position. So it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but to be able to return with Jaden Ball, it's going to look really good on social media, which we've already seen it has. And Texas fans, we've seen their meltdowns recently. So I'm really glad that we were able to keep Jaden Ball.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think like the perception bonus of getting Ball back is maybe bigger than like the actual on field. Like I don't mean to take it away from him. He's a game changing player. It's just like I don't think having or not having Ball is the difference between Florida being like a 9-win team and a 5-win team next year. Like I don't think that was gonna determine the trajectory of the season to that extent. But yeah, I mean, I think especially because I think we kind of had the early honeymoon period with the staff and Summerall and the hires and Troutwine and all that. And then it kind of did feel like perception had kind of turned a little bit as just nothing had really happened. We were still waiting on some key retentions, obviously Baugh. And then at least at the time looked like you were losing Jaden Woods to the portal. And now maybe not so much. But I think this was a win that the staff really needed to get. And it kind of kicked off the snowball effect of a lot of other commitments. So yeah, I mean, I think huge for the offense and also just huge for, I think, the staff getting a nice early win that frankly, it didn't really look like Florida was going to get. Like I would definitely say from my perspective, it felt like this was kind of trending towards Texas at one point.
Yeah, I mean, I remember December, I think it was December 17th when the 247, I'm pretty sure it's 247 guy for Texas posted Jaden Ball is expected to enter the transfer portal.
Yeah, was it the same guy or a different Texas insider that said Dallas Wilson and Jaden Ball were for sure entering the portal?
I think that was on 3. I think I was on 3 for in reporter for Texas. So Texas guys really screwing the pooch there. But yeah, no, it looked like it kind of was trending for Texas, but Florida, we put up the money and put up or shut up, and we put up. So it's nice to show that we can really go out there and hang with the big boys like Texas. Although, is Texas a big boy now? Who knows? According to their fans, they're broke now. So now we'll move on from Jaden Ball now. We'll go to receiver next. Yeah, we'll go to receiver next. We've had 2 receivers commit. Bailey Stockton, who was also teammates with from Georgia Tech with Aaron Philo. 5'9", 175. It's not someone who on paper is going to jump off and be like, wow, I'm really excited to get this guy. But it's kind of, I hate to do this. It's the stereotype. It's like kind of sneaky, underrated guy right there. You've seen some of his film from the Clemson game. There's a specific play from the Clemson game where he's lined up against Avion Terrell. Yeah, Avion Terrell. And he kind of just routes him up, and Haynes King misses the throw when he's wide open.
I've seen the clip you're talking about, yeah.
It's like it's someone that I'm not expecting to start, but I'm pretty confident Bailey Stockton will be seeing be seeing plays every single game this season. And, maybe he could have a nice season. Again, has that relationship with Aaron Philo. So that's a connection there that gives him a little bit of an advantage. So I like the addition. It's not something that really blows you away, but I think it's a good player to get.
Yeah, intriguing skill set here. I mean, I think, the production's not really been there. I mean, frankly, like Haynes King is kind of limited as a passer in general. And like Georgia Tech, not exactly like most of the time, like a super prolific passing offense. So, I mean, I think, there's kind of some projection involved there, but I think a nice like depth piece with a decently high ceiling because he is a sophomore, has, I believe, 2 more years of eligibility. So, you kind of he can kind of be a guy who's developing. I still think Florida is still looking for potentially in the portal that number, unless one of these freshmen that steps up, that kind of number 3 with Dallas and VB3. I think that could be Cam Vaughn, the West Virginia transfer we talked about a little earlier in the show. I'm not sure that's Bailey Stockton, but who knows? Obviously, again, I think with these Georgia Tech guys, there just has to be an element of trust in Faulkner. Like maybe these guys aren't producing, but he knows what's at stake for him in this job, and he's trying to get a head coaching job, and he's thinks these guys are going to help him get there. So I think he deserves the benefit of the doubt until we don't have a reason to.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We also attained Micah Hayes from Wake Forest, formerly of North Palm Beach, Florida. So Florida kid, 6'2", 174. Good speed. I'm not the most excited about Micah Mays.
Yeah.
He's put up how many yards he put up? 300 yards this past season, if I'm not mistaken, a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, 302 yards and 2 touchdowns on 18 catches.
I like that it's a depth. I assume it's going to be a depth piece because we're expecting to still take another receiver, and then you still are going to have Gross, Abrams, Stockton. Like Micah Mays, I don't expect to be starting unless he just breaks out this season. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the most exciting to get, but it's another depth piece that could has the potential to do something. Has a bit of a proven experience in the Power 4. So going out and getting another guy that has something on tape in the college level, I can't complain about it, especially because I expect we're going to get another starting level receiver in the portal still.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Dex Mac's comment here kind of gets at what I'm about to say. Like, I think people kind of tend to forget, like, not think about depth when it comes to these portal additions. Like, Florida lost. I mean, they lost a couple contributors, but they really more than that. They lost their depth at a lot of spots, including at receiver. So I think, you're relying on a lot from freshmen if you don't go and get those depth guys, because obviously you need more receivers than VB3 and Dallas Wilson. Dallas played in 3 games this year. VB3 missed a couple. Obviously Trey Wilson and Mizell have had their injury issues over the year. Obviously not here anymore, but just point being, like, you don't know, when these guys when their name's going to get called and they're going to need, you're going to need them to win games. So I think it's one of those. Yeah, I agree. It's not one I'm exactly fired up about, but I'm not sure it's one that we're supposed to be fired up about. I think it's a depth piece, and it's a guy who's managed to be decently productive on a team that hasn't been all that great the last couple of years.
No, yeah, you nailed it right there. But yeah, second receiver, we do expect we have Cam Vaughn on campus. Trey Richardson from Vanderbilt visited Georgia yesterday and visiting Texas today and supposed to visit. And no, he's visiting Georgia right now and supposed to visit Texas sometime later this week, and then is planning a visit with Florida. We'll see what happens there. But Cam Vaughn, currently on campus, had 500 yards for West Virginia this past season after having a 900-ish yard season for Jacksonville State. I think if you can go get Cam Vaughn, that would be your third starting receiver there, alongside Dallas Wilson and Vernell Brown. So get one more starting guy in that room, whether it's Vaughn, whether it's Trey Richardson, whether it's somebody else. We've been mentioned for Quincy Porter, the 5-star receiver out of Ohio State, 6'4", great speed. I wouldn't mind if it's him either. I know we were a team that were initially named, so maybe we see something happen there, maybe we don't. But no, I like where this receiver room is going. Just one more name, and skill position wise, I think we're looking great. Wide receiver and running back, some of the best in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I think not a question mark for me at all if you can stay healthy there.
Yeah. Next, we'll go to tight end. From James Madison, Lakota Dupree, more of a blocking tight end than necessarily a receiving tight end. Not saying you can't catch the ball. From Scranton, Pennsylvania, so shout out the office there. But 6'4", 240, blocking tight end. I said we needed to take 2 or 3 tight ends. Now we kept Amir Jackson, so that makes it more like 2 tight ends than 2 to 3. And from the looks of it, that's about what we're going to do here, because you bring in Lakota Dupree, someone who can come and kind of run block, kind of a Hayden Hansen replacement there with Dupree. And then you still have you have a couple tight ends on campus right now. So I'm fine with this take. Just go and get one more more of a receiving threat at tight end.
Yeah, no issues with the take. And I mean, it's nothing against Dupree. I think he'll be fine for the role we took him for. I mean, I'd say if there's one area where you could be a little disappointed right now, it is probably tight end, just because I think it's just been such an area where Florida's lacking. I think there was hope that we would go, get a, super proven, a guy that is going to kind of raise the status of that position. I'm not sure we're getting that. Certainly probably not with Dupree. But I mean, like you said, there's a couple other guys still outstanding here. Amir Jackson back on the team in 2026. So, I think still need to see something there at the tight end spot to feel really good about it. I'd say as far as like skill positions and offensive weapons go, that's like the only area where I am still a little suspect.
Yeah, you have Pierce Sperlin, former 5-star, but had the heart surgery, and we'll see if we end up taking him in. I'm trying to figure out the Georgia Tech tight end's name. Let me just grab it right here.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I'm pulling it up. Statistics receiving. Luke Harping had 13 catches for 158 yards, no touchdowns. Was a true freshman this year, so someone young. I think he was a high 3-star out of high school. So it's probably just another guy that Buster Faulkner likes, and a little bit of production. Was a true freshman, and I don't know if it's necessarily the most appealing pull out of the portal, but I still think it's going to be tough for this tight end room to be worse.
Yeah, that's probably a safe bet. And like, frankly, I think if you handed someone like Buster Faulkner the exact tight end room from last year, I think you probably get improved play out of it. I mean, Hayden Hanson's going to Oklahoma. It's not like, there was no talent in that room. Not where it needed to be, but also probably wasn't being optimized. So again, I think all these things are things that I might have questions about, but I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because I do think that a lot of people on this staff have proven themselves to be good evaluators of talent.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. All right, next we'll go to the offensive line. 2 commits so far. We expect a third within tomorrow. But we currently have TJ Shanahan, Texas A&M, then Penn State, now to Florida. The nephew of John Halapio, former Gator offensive lineman.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, it's a Gator legacy there. 6'4", 316, has a lot of production at the college level. Maybe not necessarily the greatest player, but someone who had a really good passing grade, pass blocking grade. Something that was a trend with Penn State players, bad run blocking grades on PFF. I don't know if that's something to do with the scheme or if that's Trotwood's fault or what's going on right there. So, you want to see the run blocking improve. I think you trust a bit with Faulkner to be able to scheme up some stuff, even if you do have a bit of line troubles. I really like our interior so far, where you're returning all your guys besides Damian George on the interior. You bring in TJ Shanahan, who a lot of production. Someone that had Gator posters in his room out of high school. Don't know if you knew that or not, but grew up a Gator. Unfortunately, when we went from Mullen to Napier, I'm pretty sure that was during his recruitment. Things kind of just got lost. He stopped considering Florida. Decided to go to Texas A&M there. So good player. I would expect him to be starting or competing at a high level for that starting job. Mm-hmm. I really just like the floor on that interior room there, including the guard and center.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you've got not only legit depth along the offensive line, but I think you're going to have like real competitions here. A couple positions where, I think Shanahan has an inside track to a starting job, but I'm not sure it's a absolute given. I mean, he was sort of a spot starter for Penn State. I think started like 5 games this year for them. So he was like starting a decent amount, but not a permanent full-time starter. So, we'll see. But again, and like the other offensive linemen we'll talk about, like kind of what I said earlier about Faulkner when it comes to Philo and Bailey Stockton and such, like kind of ultimately got to trust that Troutwine knows his guys. I mean, you hired him, Florida fans have been clamoring to hire this guy for years now. So now you've got him and he wants to bring his guys in. So, okay, we'll see. I think I think if he doesn't work out, I think Florida's got guys there that could come in and play and earn the job. But I would certainly say I would expect him to be among the starting 5 next year.
Yeah, I think it's a good bet. The next one, Yagon, I think it's pronounced Boyer, also transferred from Penn State, 6'8", 302 pounds, was a redshirt freshman this past season. He's going to have 3 years of eligibility left. This is an interesting take. Not that it's a bad take, because, I said we need to go and get at least some depth for the tackle position. I wonder if he's going to start. Currently, I'm still looking for us to go and get a left tackle in the portal. And the thing is, I could see Boyer being the left tackle. I know there's been some rumors from that. I know Conjurin said that he expects Boyer to be the left tackle, but not saying Boyer can't, and won't be good. So far, he hasn't produced at a high level. I saw someone shared all of his plays or against Clemson from their bowl game,
because he started.
He looks like a monster. What?
He started that game, I believe.
Yes,
right.
Both
that was
he
his
and Shanahan. He and Shanahan started next to each other. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And he looks like he looks like a mammoth on the field, and he had some pretty good pass blocking and run blocking reps. And as you said, you kind of just have to trust what Phil Trotman's going to do. I hope we go into the portal and get maybe more of a proven starting left tackle. Because it's really just, one tight end, one receiver, one offensive lineman. Even if we don't get all three of those, I still feel pretty good about the offense as long as Faulkner works out. And if you get those three, I'm going to feel really confident about this offense. And it might be a bit of a shock to see how quickly the offense progresses from last season to next season. It's just, I want to see us get maybe a better or more proven starting left tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I think the offensive line is going to kind of be the thing that hinges on, because I think, with a real competition, I think you would hope that one of these two quarterbacks can at least be solid. Yeah, I mean, Boyer, like, I would also kind of expect you to take another offensive tackle. I don't necessarily see Boyer as a starter, but maybe, because obviously some people do. I mean, just a lot of projection with him, because he hasn't really played a ton of significant snaps. I mean, I think he's interesting. Like, I think you look at his frame, redshirt freshman, young guy, interesting project, certainly a guy that I think could develop into a starter. I would be a little surprised if that's, him next year, just because, again, it's just such an important position. And I think it'd be weird to make that, like, arguably the biggest question mark on your entire offense be the left tackle position.
Yeah.
Like, I would think Florida would prioritize going and getting someone more proven, but I think he certainly could compete. Did he play left tackle in the Clemson game?
He did.
Was he on the left? Okay, because I'd be interested if he could play at right, maybe compete with like Caden Jones if we were to go get another offensive tackle transfer.
We also did retain Fletcher Westfall.
True. Or compete with both those guys, I should say, for the other starting spot. I mean, again, maybe he's your left tackle next year. I would be a little surprised, but they are also investing pretty heavily in the offensive line between these two guys and the guy that we think Florida's probably in position to get here.
Yeah, Harrison Moore, who was the starting center as a true sophomore for Georgia Tech, over 800 career snaps, 0 sacks given up. I might think he moves to one of the guard spots instead of center. He did have a little bit of
can play center.
Harris. He had a little bit of snapping troubles. Caused a couple false starts in their bowl game. Against SMU, I want to say is who they played. Or BYU. They played BYU.
BYU. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if we see him play guard and Harris play center. It's going to be a battle between 5 players so far in that interior grouping. So I wouldn't say anyone's guaranteed any spot on that line as of now. But I like Moore. Not the highest graded out player, but again, good pass blocker, no sacks, very few pressures. We have to see what he can do with his run blocking here. But I like what we're doing with the interior offensive line. Just where we can do a tackle.
Yeah, I think the interior is poised to be a potential strength. Tackle is the biggest question by far. And I mean, we'll just see. I mean, I'd say Boyer's probably in line to be a starter if Florida doesn't take another tackle, just kind of due to numbers and who's there. But I'd certainly like to see Florida go get a tackle. I would say that's probably. Would you say that's at the number one of your remaining portal wish list, assuming Moore's coming and Woods is coming back as an edge? Like, would you say that's the number one need on the wish list?
It's either that or corner, a starting corner. Yeah. It's close because left tackle is probably more important, but I think it's close.
I don't love the cornerback room as it currently stands.
Yeah, if we got Jontez Williams, I feel great about it.
Yeah.
And, we still have a chance to go and get another corner. We'll see what happens there. But, I'm with you. left tackle is more important, so maybe I'd say maybe, but I think you can work around it a bit more than than bad corner.
And I think Florida does have more, have options at the very least, whereas corner, like there's not really a lot of depth going on there either. So you kind of need
you have like 4
guy.
players there. You know,
Yeah.
you're not going to trust a freshman. No,
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to bring in another player there into that corner room, whether they're a starting caliber or not. But I'd really rather them be, proven or at least someone who you can see starting there when you pick them up immediately. So
yeah,
it's close. We'll just throw them on there because why not? This kicker and punter. We bring in Patrick Durkin, the kicker from Tulane. Was 25 of 28 and 4 of 6 from 50 plus on the season. All AAC kicker was a sophomore is going to be a sophomore this year. Like, great. We're replacing Trey Smack to go get a kicker who accurate, has a leg. Can't complain.
Yeah.
And
I think. Sorry. Go ahead.
We bring in his punter as well, Alec Clark. We're bringing back the Aussie punters after Crawshaw is now starting the NFL. So, Tulane number 1 field position, or no, I think they were like 10th in defensive field position. So you're getting a good punter there, a redshirt sophomore. So, yeah, I mean, we hired their special teams coordinator. They had a great special teams unit. I won't complain about taking their kicker and punter at all.
No, when we talked about this, I think a couple weeks ago, and I mean, I basically said, like, look, you've got 2 highly rated specialists at kicker and punter on your roster. Tulane had 2 of the better ones in college football. Keep the ones you have, swap them for 2 lanes. It's fine with me either way. They opted for the latter, understandable, because like you said, bringing over the Tulane special teams coordinator. I mean, it seems fine to me. I think specialists are. The nice thing about specialists is there's not really any concerns about like how things translate from G5 to, G5 to Power 4. It's mostly just kind of do your job.
Yeah,
so it's really that simple. So
kickers, not to call it easy, but just kick.
It's not easy. It's not opponent dependent for the most part. It's in your head. So yeah, I mean, it seems fine to me. I think kind of is interesting to me that Florida was not particularly aggressive with a lot of Tulane transfers other than these 2 specialists.
We do have Jordan Norman on campus, is one of their edge rushers.
Okay. But yeah, the offensive lineman either went elsewhere, is projected to go elsewhere. Santana Hopper,
Houston.
Yeah, okay.
Both went to Houston.
I saw, because I thought I saw a Colorado crystal ball for Santana Hopper.
You're right about Hopper. Yeah. The other one went to Houston, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So, but point being, they had a couple decent players who Florida didn't really seem to make a push for, which is interesting.
No. The offensive, special teams, I like it so far. Couple more pieces, and I'm really going to be happy about what we've added. Next, I want to get into our playoff predictions here. I had one side of the bracket perfect, the other side, neither of us got right. I mean, I don't think either of us predicted Miami versus Ole Miss.
I've only gotten one game. I've gotten one game right, other than the 2 G5s, and both those G5 games, I was wrong against the spread. So I've spiritually only gotten one game right.
Yeah, so we'll start off with the game that comes on tomorrow night. FanDuel has Miami as a 3.5-point favorite over Ole Miss. I'm honestly kind of shocked that the spread's that low. I feel like Miami would have been a bit more favored here, but I guess Ole Miss won the respect by beating Georgia, so maybe I shouldn't doubt them as much. And honestly, I'm pretty conflicted in this game. I'm kind of thinking, it's going to be Miami, but if Ole Miss can have enough time, or if Trinidad Chambliss can make enough plays, I could see their passing game really lighting it up against Miami here.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly don't know where to go in this game. What are you leaning here?
Yeah, so my thing is, like, if Ole Miss can actually score, they're gonna win this game, because I think Miami's offense is, but I mean, like if this game is in like the high 20s, low 30s, I think that's an Ole Miss win, because I don't know if Miami can consistently do that. The problem is I I'm not sure they've played a defensive front this good. I think when you look at Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor, like what those guys were able to do to Ohio State and the pressure they were able to put under Julian Sand, I think Trinidad is special. I mean, he was incredible in that Georgia game.
Amazing.
I mean, he's special. But I don't know, man. I think I could really go either way on this one. I've kind of talked myself into both directions this week. I'll stick with Miami though, because
myself right now.
What? Yeah,
I'm doing that to myself. I'm talking to myself both ways right now.
Yeah, I'm going with Miami because I think that front seven, and particularly the front four, is the best unit on the field for either team, and I think that's going to make the difference.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't trust Carson Beck, but I don't trust Ole Miss outside of Trinidad. That's kind of, you trust one QB, but not the rest of the team. The other side, I trust the rest of the team, but not the quarterback. How many points can Miami score on Ole Miss? Like, if things go great for Miami.
I mean, it's not a good defense. I think
it's not.
I think they could score 30. I think 30.
I can see them running all over Ole Miss.
More than that. Yeah.
So it might not even come down to Carson Beck.
Mm-hmm.
I see more avenues to win for Miami.
I agree.
So I'm going to take Miami also in this game, which sucks to pick Miami to go to the national title game, but I'm not sure it matters too much who wins this game.
That's a little bold. That's interesting. That's an interesting take.
Yeah, maybe I should slow the roll there, but no, this next game here, Indiana, Oregon. FanDuel has Indiana as a 3.5 point favorite over Oregon.
Line 3.5 on both these games, right? Both these games, 3.5 point line. Yeah.
Although the money line is more favored in Indiana's direction than it is in Miami's direction.
Okay.
Miami is minus 164, while Indiana's minus 196.
Okay.
But 3.5 on the spreads. I'm gonna be straight up. I picked Oregon to win this game when we did our overall playoff predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon looked dominant against Texas Tech. I mean, their offense wasn't great, but Texas Tech's defense is also elite. So I'm not really gonna knock Oregon's offense for that. Indiana blew out Alabama. I mean, they looked like they shouldn't even be on the same field. And I mean, I picked Indiana to win that game in our original playoffs, but I think I picked Bama to win it the other day. So I think I did have Oregon, Indiana in this matchup. You know what? I'm going to stick with Oregon. They haven't lost yet. I picked them in my playoff bracket. I'm not going to pick against them now. I think Oregon is going to find a way to win this game because I know the reason why. I still trust the talent. Like, I shouldn't be saying this. Indiana's proven time and time again that what 247 talent says about them isn't what they are. But it's still hard to look past because you've never seen a team like Indiana do this. Like, I don't really know what else to say about it. So I'm going to take Oregon here. And I think I kind of revealed where I'm going with my national title prediction.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I think Oregon, first of all, I had Indiana losing this game to Texas Tech, so we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about that. But no, I mean, I think look, they've proven like they're as for real as it gets. With that being said, like I mean, they beat them in Eugene pretty convincingly. I don't think
it was a close game.
Well, they won by 10.
Yeah, but that was also they kicked a field goal with like
they had a pick
2 minutes
six
left.
And stuff. Yeah, I mean, sure, but I'm saying double-digit win or double-digit 2-score win on the road. Like, I mean, that's but
they deserve to win that game. But like acting like Oregon couldn't have won that game.
I'm not saying Oregon couldn't have, but this is also, I think, before Indiana had really hit its stride, and that was at Outson. I mean, I think Indiana's offense, like, not as great down to down as maybe you get the impression from like casually watching them. Like, I'm not sure I love the run game here. They move the ball pretty at will against Alabama. I think Alabama was pretty fraudulent. I'm a little surprised they even won one game in this tournament, to be honest with you. I don't really believe in Oregon's offense. I think it's a little questionable. They're down a running back, I believe, got hurt in that Texas Tech game. I'm sticking with Indiana here. It's hard to beat a team twice. I think it's going to be close. I trust Indiana more. They've proven it time and time again.
Where are these games located?
The Fiesta Bowl is the Miami game, and the Peach Bowl is the Indiana game.
Okay, so neither team has any advantage there. So,
not really. Yeah.
No.
I mean, I guess Atlanta is like a slight advantage to Indiana, but I mean, not like significantly. I mean, it's a lot closer than Eugene.
It is, but it's also like if Oregon were traveling, Oregon to Indiana. I mean, Oregon really playing anywhere that's not the Rose Bowl is about the same. So, at least, I mean, or Arizona would be a bit closer to Fiesta Bowl, but yeah, I mean, I don't really think it's going to matter that much. But would you now take Indiana to beat Texas Tech?
Yes. Yeah. If that, yeah. Like if Texas Tech could like somehow, I mean, I guess like say they just score a little bit and win that game like 13-10 because Oregon wasn't really moving the ball in that game. I would.
They moved it pretty early. They settled.
Well, I should say they couldn't capitalize. Like they
That's
stalled out in the red zone a couple times. They got stopped on fourth down. Like they didn't. Like Texas Tech could have won that game if they had any semblance of an offense and Baron Morton didn't turn the ball over 4 times. He turned the ball over 4 times. So, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think Indiana, I think even I was still being high on Indiana, was still kind of underrating them. I mean, the way they came out and just absolutely punked Alabama, like it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And I mean, Kalen DeBoer may be regretting not leaving Alabama, not going to Michigan.
Yeah, he might be.
I mean, if you were Michigan, would you take Whittingham or DeBoer? I would take DeBoer.
Yeah, I'd take DeBoer. I mean, he's younger. He's still proven it at a higher level. Like, yeah, I would take DeBoer.
Okay. Ooh, wow. Kentucky is going to lose to Missouri. Likely.
Are they? I was watching the first half of that game, and they were down, but then kind of started mounting a comeback. So I didn't think it was going to hold.
They're down 3 with 10 seconds left. Missouri just hit some free throws. So if Kentucky hit a 3. Did you see that Auburn A&M game?
I heard about it. I didn't actually see what happened. So it was like he got a shot off, and the ref said he didn't.
So on the court, they said he got it off.
Yeah.
And then when they went to review it, it was at the buzzer and everything. In my eyes, I thought he got it off. And when it's close like that, they usually go if they go on the court. And it was at Auburn. You had Auburn players start to celebrate when they showed the replay over on the Jumbotrons and everything. And they came out and said, shot no count. I don't know how, because, again, it was really close. And you called it on the court. But, hey, sometimes it's a 50-50 like that, and it doesn't go your way. Now Auburn's 0-2 in conference play.
Yeah. Did you mean to rhyme like that? Was that intentional?
What did I rhyme?
You said go your way and then rhymed that with 0-2 in conference play.
Hey, you got a little Slim Shady. No,
it's a little poetry. I like that.
And yeah, Missouri up 3 with 2 seconds. He's got hit 1 free throw, so Missouri likely wins that game. JLB, are you guys going to the spring game? I might go. It depends on what day it is and timing and if I have anything else. But like, if I have nothing else to do, I'll be going.
Yeah, I haven't really thought. I'm in Jacksonville, so it's a little far for me. I mean, I might. I haven't really thought about it, but I haven't gone to a spring game. It's been a few years since I've gone to a spring game, so we'll see.
I hope now that there's no spring portal. Well, NCAA they're going to add one again. They're just going to add it.
That's true. That's the other thing. Maybe we'll get like the televised real spring games back now.
Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping we can get televised spring games because
last year it was not televised, right?
Last year it was just relying on people's videos and what people said on Twitter. Which, well, I mean, I was there for the first half, so I saw what I saw for the first half. But yeah, I really hope they do televise it next this upcoming season. All right, next, last week we gave our top plays from the season. Now, normally when we get top plays, it's pretty joyous. Kind of wasn't. It was still pretty fun to look back at some of the cool plays from the season, but it was mostly some sad stuff because we included plays from some games we lost. So how fun can those be? But no, now we have our worst plays, or worst moments from this season. I have a couple honorable mentions. One, the first drive against USF where Tony Livingston on third down just drops a touchdown.
Yeah.
No reason, just drops it. Wide open, easy touchdown, and in the hands, just drops it. And instead of being able to, because it was a good drive, a good first drive, you drive down the field, not explosive. And here, I'm always under the impression that if you could score on your drive, it was a good drive. I don't care how long it takes. And Livingston just drops an open touchdown and set things off a bad start. Next, not necessarily a play that was bad, but the result of it, J. Michael Sturdivant's incomplete catch against Georgia, where
that's a good one.
I kind of you could argue it both ways, because when that was called incomplete, that's where we lost the game.
Yeah,
because if you get that catch, you're right there.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I kind of forgot about that one.
Next, I just went with another honorable mention. All three of Lagway's picks against Kentucky in the first half. Yeah. I couldn't separate them. They're just bad. Really could just put the entire Kentucky game on the list there. Next one I'm going to go with is Lagway's pick against Ole Miss. You're in field goal range, and Lagway just makes a really bad play there and throws a pick. And again, another play where it's like when you made that play, it felt like you're going to lose that game. My last two honorable mentions here. Okay, this is on a touchdown, I think. We scored the touchdown, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was Lagway, or it was on a first down. I can't remember exactly, but it's pretty infamous. You see on Twitter, Lagway celebrating, and then it shows we're down like 31-3 or 31-0 against Tennessee because we got one first down. I'm pretty sure it was Lagway. Am I remembering that correctly?
Wait, sorry. Say that one more time.
Against Tennessee, we're down like 4 scores, and we get a touchdown or a first down. And I think it was a first down. I think Lagway ran for a first down, and he's just coming out with some celebration. I think we're down 31-0.
I like super vaguely remember that. I think that was Lagway. I'm not trying to slander him because I don't remember 100%, but that does sound vaguely familiar.
All right, my last honorable mention.
There's a lot of honorable mentions, but I guess that just speaks to the kind of season it was.
All of these could have made the list. We're so close to making the list. 3rd and short versus Mississippi State. If we had lost this game, this may have been on the list. Probably would have been on the list against Mississippi State. But 3rd and short, we're up by 2 points with 2-something left on the clock. We line up in the shotgun. Jaden Baugh, who had been averaging like 6 yards per carry that game, had over 100 yards, like 120 or something like that on the game. And the problem isn't that you don't run it and you call play action. It's the fact that the play call you ran out of the shotgun, because that's the play we run out of the pistol all the time. And it has really good success because when you're able to run it out of the pistol, Lagway is already facing the sideline, so he can run. But when you do out of the shotgun, Lagway has to fully turn his body to be able to run, which he's not able to because there's pressure right there because, the defensive end raised the QB there on that play. And instead of being able to run to the side, he has to run back. And that forces us to punt. And if it wasn't for Mekhi Burrow making a miraculous play, we lose that. Or, maybe they missed a field goal. But if it wasn't for Burrow making that miraculous play, we probably lose the Mississippi State game because, it's not even that you didn't run it. It's the fact that you ran out of shotgun. If you just run the ball there, you probably pick up the first. Or if you call it out of the pistol, I'd like to play call a bit more. But just that play. I'm gonna let you start off because I just went over like 6 honorable mentions there.
I'll just get into my top 5. I didn't write down any honorable mentions for you guys, but I will say my honorable mentions are every Lagway interception against LSU that I'm not about to talk about. Starting at number 5, I am starting with one of those 2. I think it was the last one. It might have been the second to last one. It was what I guess was an attempt at a touchdown ball to, I believe, Trey Wilson, where Lagway not only overthrows Trey Wilson, but he's also in triple coverage. And he overthrows a receiver in the end zone into triple coverage. And obviously one of them comes down.
I remember what you're talking about, yeah.
Because that tends to get those balls tend to get intercepted when you overthrow a guy and there's 3 defenders right there. So that was the first, but not the only Lagway pick from that game that made my list.
All right, number 5. I have against Miami. It's 4th and 3. We're down 6 points on Miami's 33-yard line. Now, I'm pretty sure the first down before this, we converted a 4th and 3 as well to J. Michael Sturdivant on a quick hitch route, and we get the first down by like half a yard. But that play knocked J. Michael Sturdivant out of the game with a concussion. Okay, Sturdivant has to exit. Comes in T.J. Abrams. We're again at a 4th and 3. We're going for it. It may have been 4th and 4. And Abrams comes in. We do the exact same route to T.J. Abrams. And you just do it a half yard short. I mean, you just throw it a yard short. Abrams falls a half yard forward. It's just like, you got to get half a yard more, man. It's not like we did some horrible thing there where it's like, oh, bad read. But it's 4th down, and you throw it on a hitch like that short. Now, that's not necessarily on Lagway. That's probably more on Abrams for not running to the first down marker there or whatnot. But it's something that simple where just half a yard more could have been the difference between winning and losing even in that game. And it's just something that's very infuriating because we had so much momentum after the touchdown and then Cormani pick, which was on my top 5 or maybe an honorable mention. I can't remember if it was 5 or an honorable mention. And just to do that where you're half a yard short, really infuriating. And it's just kind of synopsis of this whole season.
Yeah, kind of a lot of games that were like that, where it was like ended up being kind of bad, but it was like, a couple things go differently. Maybe it's a different game. Do you want to go first with number 4, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first with number 4. Maybe a little low because this isn't a play where Florida did something wrong. It's a result of us doing a lot of things wrong. It's the USF field goal to win the game. It was a chip shot field goal, so it's not like where we gave up a bad field goal or something. No, but the entire game leading up to a point where USF can kick a chip shot field goal to win it. I mean, that's really the end of the Billy Napier era when we lost that game to USF. So I feel like I have to put that play on here. Again, it's not like the play itself was some bad play by us. It's just everything that led up to it. And that's not the only USF play that'll be on this list.
Yeah, I also have a couple. That's not one of them. I guess you can call that an honorable mention for me. I considered it. Ultimately didn't make my top 5 because of what you said. I mean, it was an extra point length field goal, and Nico Gramatica is a really good kicker. So I had no belief in that moment that was going to get blocked or he was going to shank it or it'd be a bad snap, or I knew we were cooked. So that one didn't. I have more the ones that led up to that that I want to focus on. But at number 4, I have, it's kind of funny. We've only been talking about like self-inflicted bad plays, mistakes we've made, things we've done to ourselves. This one is actually just a defensive play that I just was not very good. You mentioned the Sturdivant incompletion review kind of being the spiritual thing that cost us the Georgia game. I've got the play that actually literally cost us the Georgia game, where 1st and 10 on the edge of field goal range, Gators have a 3-point lead. So, at least you hold them and can maybe force overtime. But no, Chauncey Bowens breaks through up the middle, 36 yards, not even really touched.
No.
In the process of that, just an easy peasy touchdown. Ultimately proves to be game winning because Florida goes 4 and out on the next possession. So that's my number 4.
All right. You want to say your number 3?
Yeah. Number 3, I have actually the other Lagway interception that's on my list. It's the pick 6, because this one was actually really the pick 6 to Sean Spears, returned 58 yards. This one really was costly. I believe was a 3-point game at the time. Florida was potentially moving the ball to at least try to tie or maybe even take the lead. Could have been an entirely different ball game. But no, Lagway throws the pick, and that just about does it. That gives you your final score.
Yeah, I can't blame you for putting that one on there. At number 3, again, my plays necessarily aren't always bad plays. It's just everything that's led up to that moment, or the thing that really just brings me down the most. Again, this is a defensive play here for me. And we made a good play. Number 3, I have the tipped pass against Ole Miss on a 4th and I think it was a 4th down, 4th and 7 against Ole Miss, where Trinidad throws it. It's batted down back into Trinidad's hands, and he's able to run it for a first down. again, we made a good play by batting a pass down just for it to end up in Trinidad's hands, and he ends up getting a first. I can't remember if it was a 3rd and long or if that was a 4th down, like 7. But when a play like that happens, you just know it's not your night. And again, it's not like we did some terrible thing there. Like, you batted down the pass. The D lineman did exactly what he's supposed to do. It's kind of just the luck of the draw in that one in. After that play is kind of when I was like, okay, we're going to lose this Ole Miss game. When they're getting stuff like that to happen for them, there's just no chance we're going to win this game. And yeah, we ended up losing that game. And again, maybe this shouldn't be as high on my list. It was just one of those most demoralizing plays for me. So I had to include it.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2. So you've gone down each of them, or you got 2 of them on your list. I feel all 5 of Lagway's picks against LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus. Like, after losing to USF, it's like, okay, there's not much hope left here. Like, Lagway's been playing bad, but then, oh my God, he played his. I mean, what was worse, Miami game or the LSU game? Because, like, the LSU game, he contributed in us losing, but he did nothing against Miami. I mean,
yeah, but at least that kind of made sense. I mean, Miami has a great defensive front. I mean, not that LSU's was okay, but
yeah. I mean, that's fair. It's just everything that Miami game we didn't. That was so boring. Besides a drive and a half. But no, I'm just putting all 5 LSU picks against LSU because, and a play that also kind of I didn't put on honorable mention. Like 88-yard touchdown pass that was overturned by a very weak holding call. Like, but really it's the picks that lost us this game, where Lagway was just not seeing the field well that night. Not that he sees it well most nights, but this day was extremely bad for DJ Lagway, and the pick 6, just so many bad reads, and it cost us that game against LSU. And I don't really care about how bad it was. Like, oh my God, he should have seen the safety coming down, or, oh, that's just unlucky. Like, 5 picks in one game. I'm just going to group them all together and drop them on you like that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's probably the better way to do it. I just couldn't. I felt like I had to give that game some extra attention on this list because of how bad it was. And it was like very impactful for me because it was like prior to that, I was kind of like defending Lagway, like, hey, like he's not playing great, but he's injured and he's in a bad system and this coaching staff sucks and all that.
And yeah, I mean, Aiden here, Miami game wasn't worse. I'm not going to put the comment up, but it wasn't his fault. The old line was also struggling in that Miami game a lot.
Yeah. So, but I think the LSU game, it was just so self-inflicted. I mean, all those things about the staff and him being injured, that remains true, but ultimately, like, can't throw the ball the other team 5 times, man. And they weren't tips. They weren't like, there was nothing, that kind of minimized it. Like they were just 5 terrible interceptions. So yeah, that's understandable. At number 2, I'm going back to the USF game now, and it's the play that really
my number 1. I think that's gonna be my 1.
Maybe not. My 1 might actually be your 1. We'll see, because I've got 2 plays from that game up here in the top 2.
Okay.
Yeah, at number 2, I've got the play that really set up that Nico Grammatica field goal. The screen pass to Alvin Isaac gained about 30 yards, got him into field goal range. Granted, there was, I believe, a missed hold on that play.
Oh yeah, it was a bad missed hold on Jaden Robinson. That's why I was gonna say this wasn't on my list, because Jaden Robinson, he would have made that tackle. It was an egregious no call.
You say that, maybe, but the other thing I would say is, what else was missed on that play was several tackles. That's fair from becoming a big gain. So I agree with you. Missed hold, it probably shouldn't have ever happened, but I think it was enough of a just complete disaster class in tackling from the defense that I am choosing to include it pretty high, because ultimately, the way that game ended, even though Billy got fired about a month and a half later or so, that was what did it. It was over that moment.
And the play that we both have at number 1, I wasn't sure if we were going to both have it number 1, but now I am. Brandon Bett spitting on 3rd down.
I mean, it's the microcosm of the season. There's nothing. It's perfect.
It's the Marco Wilson shoe throw.
It's kind of beautiful, honestly. Now that I'm removed from it, it doesn't hurt as much. It's kind of the perfect encapsulation of like late stage Billy Napier, honestly.
Close game where you make a winning play, but it's taken away by a flag or taken away for some reason. And it sucks because Brandon Bett was like low-key our best defensive lineman this year.
Yeah, he wasn't even a bad player by any means.
No,
he just was responsible for the worst play.
And he's still on the roster. Like, probably our best returning defensive tackle, for sure. So it's like, it sucks that he's gonna have this bad play stuck in Gator fans' head forever. Or, like, unless he makes up for it, unless he doesn't have a great season this year.
He needs to do it. He needs to have like a game-winning play. He needs to pull a Mekhi Boreau and save the day.
I was about to say, but maybe fans will like him because he's the biggest reason Billy got fired.
It's true. It's very true. The reason this play was number one for me is because just like, it would be one thing if it was like a roughing the passer or a late hit out of bounds or like, an effort penalty where it's like, that sucks, but it happens. Like, this was just a completely unavoidable mistake. There's just absolutely no excuse for it. Couldn't happen there. Couldn't happen ever, but really couldn't happen there. And so that's why this ultimately was number one for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really the same there. It's just like spitting. It's just like, I honestly think this play, if it were on a bigger stage, is worse than the shoe throw.
It's hard to say that because the stakes of the shoe throw were so much.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, if it was on a bigger stage. Because here's the thing. When Marco Wilson made the tackle, the shoe just ended up in his hands, and he kind of just celebrates and throws it. Like, that's kind of like, he's not thinking when he's doing it. He's kind of just in the moment.
No, I could see doing that and not thinking that's going to draw a penalty. Like, that's still kind of stupid, but I could see having that thought for half a second. Like,
but when you spit on someone, you think to yourself, I'm going to...
Right in front of a ref, too. The ref was right there.
Yeah. But, hey, Bet seems like he's still going to be here next year. He hasn't officially signed, but he also hasn't entered the portal yet. Seems like he's going to be here next year. Hey, go and prove yourself. Be number one on the list, on the good list next season.
Give yourself a better long-lasting memory as a Gator player, please. I'm begging you.
Have a game-winning strip sack against Georgia. That'll be number. If you do that, that'll be number one on the list. Unless there's some prayer type of play next year, but no. That's gonna be the worst plays from this season. It wasn't that bad to go and look back. It was honestly kind of more enjoyable than the top plays.
Yeah, because the top plays, I just felt like I was grasping at straws. I was one of mine was like a nice throw to JMS in a loss. Like, it's like, okay.
Oh man, this was a bit more therapeutic. You could say, but no, those are the worst plays, and it was kind of nice to go back and look at. Oh man. Gator basketball has a chance to get another big win Saturday.
Yeah, man. I don't think this team is all that good, but they have the opportunity here to kind of change their fortunes a little bit in these next few games.
See the odds? How is he not there?
Had to have that win last night. That was just a season, like a season trajectory kind of game.
It was a must-win game.
Yeah.
Like, because here's the thing, you haven't lost any bad games, and all of your games have been decided by like 5 or fewer points, 6 or fewer points. And it's funny because if you just add 2 threes to every game, we're undefeated. And the 3-point percentage is still like 30%. Like, it's not good. Like, it's still not even a good 3-point percentage.
356th in college basketball or something.
No, I'm just saying you could add 2 threes to every game.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And it would still be one of the worst, but we would be undefeated. We'd be the number 1 ranked team in the country right now if you just had 2 threes a game. And it's not even crazy to think about that. But no, this I think kind of sleeping on the team a bit. But you say
it's just the guards. It's just the guards. Like,
yeah, I mean, starting guards having 0 points.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, they could be if they start just hitting wide open threes. It's not even like we're at bad shot selection. We're taking good shots and just somehow still shooting 28% from 3.
The guys just can't shoot.
Yeah, like, so I mean, you got to think that'll turn around at some point, because it's like we're talking about guys that were like 34, 35% shooters last year. So it's like there's no reason to think that they're going to be this. Well,
here's the thing. Jaden Woods, or not, why did I just read the comment? Oh, yep. It's got announced official.
Oh, it is
9:32.
Yep. Oh, it did. Oh, awesome. Cool.
Should we just do a quick little video? We'll do a quick little thing on Jaden Woods, actually. This is a bit unplanned, but we're gonna do it real quick. Here, this is a bit. We were kind of waiting on this, so we're just gonna do this real quick. Jaden Woods announces his return to Florida. He is withdrawing from the transfer portal. I think that's how that works. I don't know if you withdraw or if you just sign with Florida the same way you sign with any other team.
No, I think you withdraw. Like, you just withdraw.
Withdraw. Top 10 ranked player in the transfer portal class. Like, if he were a transfer, this is your big time get. This is who you're talking about. And it's kind of one that last week kind of looked like, okay, he's gone. He visited Texas, and we knew we had a visit sketch. We had heard that he kind of ditched what was originally supposed to be his visit with Florida, or where Florida was supposed to meet with him, I should say, not visit, but kind of heard he ditched it. He was visiting Texas, and Texas, we know how it goes recruiting with Texas. Never usually goes well for us there, but he visits Texas, and we have basically all of our staffers fly out to Kansas, or all the defensive guys, Summerall, White, Bam Hardman, Gerald Chapman, I think, was also there. They flew out to Kansas yesterday, and, I was hearing like, okay, it went well, didn't know anything for certain. But then earlier today, Pete Nakos reported Jaden Woods is expected to announce his intentions to withdraw from the transfer portal and sign with Florida. And then one of the Texas sites also said that is their expectation for Jaden Woods to end up withdrawing and going back to Florida. So what are your initial thoughts to this?
I mean, obviously it's huge. I think, if you lost him, edge was going to ultimately become a massive need. Now it's not. And I mean, you've pretty much had a clean sweep on all the guys that were like, this is a name that Florida really needs to retain. You've pretty much kept them all. And that's really impressive. I think with Woods, it's like, I don't think the production exactly matches the way that like we feel about this in terms of like how significant it is. I mean, obviously he's a true freshman, like good production as a true freshman. It's just like there's projection going on there. But I think the list of schools that really wanted this guy, I think tells you all that you need to know about what the ceiling is for Jaden Woods here. So, I mean, I think other than a corner, which we've talked about, in other segments before, like, this was the biggest remaining need on the defense. And I think now with what you've brought in, you're looking at a pretty good defensive line, kind of like a two deep wise. Like, you've got considerable depth and I think good starting caliber players. And with Woods kind of being the focal point, pass rusher guy that there really wasn't in the fold after he entered the portal.
No, I'm right there with you, because you were currently looking at, okay, I think I'm remembering this correctly, strong side defensive end being Emmanuel, the guy we just got committed yesterday from Jacksonville State, and then your weak side being LJ McCray and KJ Ford. We were going to bring a transfer in if we didn't get Woods back, so we would have probably got someone else there who could start. But now that you keep Jaden Woods, you're looking at that weak side defensive end position, and it kind of just like last year. But you're replacing George Gumps, and you're expecting Jaden Woods to take another step. And if you can get LJ McCray to stay healthy, if he stays healthy, I want to see what he can do. I'm not saying guaranteeing he's going to be some great player. He only played 4 snaps this season. We don't know. I want to see him stay healthy, and if not, I like KJ Ford, the freshman. I think he could get some early rub as well there. Kind of see him pretty similar to how I saw Jaden Woods as coming out of high school. Now, I didn't think Woods was going to be as good as a freshman, so I'm not expecting that from Ford, but I really like that weak side defensive end spot now. And I know they're still looking at Jordan, the transfer from Tulane, Norman, from Tulane as another edge rusher to add a bit more depth. I'm not sure if he is going to be in that strong or weak side. But then you look at the other side now, where you have Emmanuel from Jacksonville State, you have Cam James returning, and you have your Jalen Wiggins hasn't officially announced his return, but he hasn't entered the portal yet. So we'll see if he ends up returning. And you also bring in Jalen McCoy. So I really like what we're looking at that defensive end spot, and I like the depth and I like the potential at D tackle, but I do want to see us bring in one more player there.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think the work's not done yet, but this was a major piece. I think probably the most important retention on defense, maybe even including Miles Graham, just because of the positional value.
We went 5 for 5.
Yeah, no, we literally did go 5 for 5.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that. I mean, Lagway was kind of a split. I mean, I mean, like even you and I were kind of on the other side of that. Of like, we're kind of fine with him walking, but there were definitely people that wanted to keep him around. That was like the only one that the fan base was sort of split on. Still, that we didn't ultimately keep. But I mean, I think, with the retentions and still being active in the portal, like didn't even need to be quite as active as I thought you were going to be, because I frankly didn't think you'd get a clean sweep on keeping all these guys, especially Woods. And that's so huge, because if you were to try to go find someone, with his talent or like who's proven, I mean, that would have been a very expensive portal piece to go add. And I'm sure Woods is getting compensated nicely for this upcoming season, but certainly nice to have him back.
Yeah, Woods is currently ranked the 11th transfer portal rankings. Can't look at too much, but Woods is ranked 11th on 247. I mean, I'm looking at one name, James Smith from Alabama. I don't know why he's in the top 10 right now. That's a lot based on his high school ranking.
Yeah, he hasn't played.
Honestly, right? I don't know if he hasn't played, but I haven't heard enough about him to be like, oh yeah, he's definitely a top 10.
I mean, like not like I'm not saying hasn't played at all, but like he's not like a major contributor, I don't think, for them.
Yeah, I don't think so. So, Jaden Woods is basically like a top 10 transfer prospect, depending on where you look. So we're not going to go out and get one of those expensive transfers or high-ranked transfers. I shouldn't say expensive. So I know Emmanuel we paid up for. A&M was a big battle there in Clemson as well. So it's like we paid up for him. But when you look at rankings-wise, we hadn't went and got one of those big-time guys. Well, we see where Woods is, and he would be one of those big-time acquisitions. So, staff, the money guys, whoever it is, like give them credit, and I'm excited to see if we can see Woods take another step, because that's kind of what you're looking at here, where you look at another player like Chaz Coleman from Penn State, who had 1 sack last year and was like a barely top 300 recruit, but the way he grew from when he was ranked to now where you're leaving your freshman season, it's just pretty obvious where these guys are just a little bit away from being able to break through and be one of those top players at their position in the country. So this is as big time as it gets in the transfer portal, and it's not necessarily a portal acquisition.
No, yeah, and sometimes those are the best portal acquisitions. We said that last year, and it was a little cliched, but Florida did retain a lot of important pieces. It just didn't work out. But those, you kind of have to look at those as portal wins these days, because everyone, it's a free agency that includes every player every offseason. So, everything, they all count the same.
Yeah. And man, Texas just keeps taking L's.
They really do. It's been a bad couple weeks for them, to be perfectly honest. And I mean, I'm sure they'll be fine, but
like it's been bad for their portal team, but it's also been bad for their writers. I mean, there was another article that came out where they mentioned Jaden Woods, and they said Texas, Oregon, and Florida are on the mix. We don't see UF keeping him. It's horns and ducks battle. So, they said about Dallas Wilson, said about Jaden Ball, they said about Jaden Woods, and Florida's won out. And they also missed on Isaac Brown, who had entered the portal but decided to stay at Louisville as well. So,
I missed that. Texas, really? I didn't see.
Oh yeah, Isaac Brown is staying.
I totally missed that. Wow.
They're going for Raleek. He's been balled there now. I think like the third running back in the portal. Raleek Brown.
Yeah, the Arizona State guy.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, we've mentioned how replaceable running backs are. Like, this isn't the worst loss in the world for them, but like they were getting one of the top guys, and now they're just going to get like a good running back. So Texas is really whiffed in the portal. They've gotten some special teams guys, and they got a nose tackle. And their fans have been, worried about on Twitter some pretty funny stuff because they're blaming it on money, which is pretty ironic coming from Texas.
Also, Texas is accusing Florida of cheating by re-signing a player on its roster that didn't enter the portal. You're tampering. I mean, I don't even care about tampering. We're saying like tampering and then accusing the school that kept their own player of cheating is surely something. Did you see what I'm talking about? That like they're basically like saying
I'm pretty
Florida's
sure
going over the house limit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about there. It's just some pretty ironic stuff coming from Texas fans, especially.
Yeah.
But no, keeping Jaden Woods, I mean, I don't think there was. I mean, I don't know if there was an edge player in the portal I'd take over Jaden Woods.
No, I mean, there's not a proven guy. It's not like there's like, I mean, there was, I guess there was the Miami, Ohio guy who Florida was in the mix for too.
Oh, Adam Trick. Daly from Utah is probably the one guy. 11 sacks at Utah, but he's probably going to Michigan.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, you would think so. I wonder if this is going to count under our portal class or not.
It won't. It shouldn't, because like Baw's not going to count as I guess Baugh never technically entered the portal, but there's no functional difference because like entering the portal, it's not like it doesn't mean you're like unenrolling from school or anything like that. Like there's nothing really official about going in the portal. Like it doesn't really mean anything.
I'm gonna see if on 3 has it currently. I mean, it's still
especially because Damon Williams just isn't doing it, just isn't entering the portal because Washington's refusing to enter his name into the portal.
Yeah, some pretty fun stuff going on there, and yeah, let's see. So yeah, I mean, on 3 hasn't updated anything either as 247. So I say that because it's just about the portal ranking. That's kind of what you're looking at there. And I mean, you look at the portal rankings from last class. I think like 3 of the top 6 portal teams are currently in the Final Four. So there's some success there. Although this year's a bit different.
The other one is LSU. The other one was LSU.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. And there is a little bit of difference with this year's portal classes because the top 2, like top 3 of the top 5 teams. So the top 2 teams, Penn State and Oklahoma State, and they're just bringing over their roster from Iowa State and North Texas.
And also, that's got to be a volume thing too, because they had to take so many I mean, Penn State has to take 50 transfers or something crazy.
Yeah, they're the only team in the top. They're the only 2 teams in the top 10 with more than 20 transfers, and they're both at 24 and 25.
Yeah.
So I mean, Auburn 10 with 12. Like, ooh, Cal's low-key having a good transfer portal class.
Yeah, Tosh. I mean, they got that New Mexico tight end that Florida was at least nominally in the mix for.
They got Adam Muhammad, the running back.
Yeah, they've gotten some nice pickups. He's doing a good job. I mean, Tosh Lupoy off to a nice start there.
Yeah, but no, this is about Jaden Woods, so it's nothing else really to mention here. But it's just great to be able to keep him. And again, fight off the big boys, especially Texas, for another top player. And it would have been interesting to see if we would have been able to replace him at a high level if we did lose him.
Yeah.
All right. That was we kind of just did that. Because I saw the comment and I was like, was it official? And yep, I checked and it's official.
We can finally be timely on one of these for once.
Yeah.
One of these reaction videos.
Yeah, really. I'm worried we're going to get butt whooped again by Ole Miss. I think it's going to be interesting to see if Trinidad can return for Ole Miss.
Which I'm hearing they're not particularly optimistic about.
No, because he's already been denied once. This is his second. Plus, his draft stock has got to be
soaring.
Think? I would think.
Maybe I don't think that's really a thing. I'm not even saying he's not good. He couldn't do it. I have not really heard anything that would make me think that he's getting that kind of attention.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Because that deal he signed with Ole Miss, I'm fairly certain that's just so they can put a dollar amount on when he sues the NCAA for damages when they ultimately deny his eligibility waiver. You can say, I would have made X million dollars if you would give me eligibility. But like, I don't think leaving for the NFL was like ever the plan there.
I'll also say, did you see who they hired as their defensive coordinator?
I actually laughed out loud when I saw this.
So I'm pretty worried that Ole Miss defense isn't going to be that good. I don't think their defense is going to be that good, but if they can keep Lacey and Trinidad, that'll be a really good duo. Like,
it's so tough, man. Or sorry, finish the thought. My bad.
I mean, I said a couple weeks ago, or even last week, I can't remember when it was, that I'm not high on Ole Miss. I think they're going to be pretty bad. But they kept Quan Lacey. If Trinidad gets an extent, or if he gets another year, he's going to stay at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So if they could keep both of them, they'll be decent. They'll be at least decent. But I worry about the defense and everything else around those two.
Yeah. What's tough for me about Ole Miss is like, I think it's pretty obvious that promoting Pete Golding was the right decision insofar as this year's team trying to win a national championship. I don't know if it was the right move for next season and beyond. Like, I really don't. We'll see. Tony, maybe he's ready for this job now. That really it just not like I had heard anything about him like advancing in the NFL circles. Like I don't think he had particularly built a great. I'm not saying he's bad. I haven't heard much about him as like an up and coming guy in the Cardinals organization. So
yeah, so I don't think I'm embarrassed. I mean, we lost a close game. They scored a touchdown in garbage. I mean, when they could just need the ball.
Yeah, is it embarrassed? Like we gave him a game. We gave a team that's in the semifinals, on the road, and we're 4-8. Like was that embarrassing? I mean, this fact that was the situation is embarrassing, but I don't think that particular result was that embarrassing.
Yeah, it's no more embarrassing than like the Georgia loss or like
no.
Yeah, that's kind of really it there. But let's get on to our final segment of this show here. We're going to talk about who we've added on the defensive side of the ball through the portal, and kind of a bit of news here that just popped. We just recorded about Jaden Woods announces his return. We don't have much to say because we did just talk about it, but Jaden Woods announces his return on the edge position. It's going to be interesting to see who else we try to bring on. If we're going to try to bring in someone else on the edge, like a Jordan Norman from Tulane, who should be on campus right now, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll start out with the other edge player we brought in, our defensive lineman, as some would. Emmanuel Oyedabade, who, again, I'm trying. I'm sorry. We bring him from Jacksonville State. So here's the interesting thing about Emmanuel. He's 6'7", or he's listed at 6'7", 315 pounds. But he says he plans to play edge or defensive end, the strong side defensive end there. When I saw his size, I immediately thought D-tackle, which he could play, still could play. There's a lot of time until the season. A lot of time, sadly. But says he plans to play edge, defensive end there. So he put up good numbers, graded out really well on PFF for Emmanuel. I like the take because Texas A&M wanted him, Clemson wanted him. Like, it's someone that was pretty highly valued, top 10 defensive lineman, I'm pretty sure, in the portal. So, good player there. You put him on the opposite side of Jaden Woods. I really like what you're putting out there.
Yeah, see, really nice pickups. Kind of a wild like frame and prospect here, just like because I mean, typically
McCoy.
What?
It's kind of like we were trying to take with Jarrell McCoy.
Yeah, because I mean, because like first of all, you don't really see a ton of interior guys that are like 6'7", like that tall. Almost just did a 6'7" joke, but I decided not to subject you guys to that. But no, like you don't typically see defensive tackles with that kind of frame, but he's also big, so maybe he gives you that kind of inside outside flexibility a little bit. Maybe sort of what you were kind of hoping to get from LJ McCray. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's interesting to me because I kind of also assumed defensive tackle when Florida got this guy, despite him being 6'7". But I mean, I think this is a really good pickup. Obviously, probably the pickup off the top of my head that like Florida was going head to head with the most like high level teams for, not counting the retentions.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'd like on paper probably the biggest win you've had. Of this
we got him as he was leaving Texas A&M. He committed to us as he was leaving his visit with A&M.
Yeah, so that's pretty solid. Right, yeah, so I mean, I think nice pickup. Again, you needed multiple bodies on the defensive line. Curious to see how they choose to use him, but I think he's a guy that will definitely make an impact next year.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any other? Yeah. Okay. We'll stick with the D line here. Only one other guy so far, DK Kalu from Baylor, who's our lowest late transfer outside the special teamers. So I kind of see this more as a depth piece, just getting a big body. 6'3", 270. They have him listed. I feel like he's probably not 270.
ESPN has him 6'4", 309.
Okay, yeah. So on 3, this is probably his as of high school. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what numbers actually really are. I've done it for a couple players. So you said 6'4", 309?
Yep.
So you're kind of just getting another big body. Maybe he's some underrated gem they found. I don't see him getting too much playing time this season. Kind of just see it as a depth piece, which, I can't complain about. We still have like 14 or so roster spots left or that you would expect to fill out. So don't really have much to say on him. I want us to take another starting D tackle. That's kind of where I'm at. Or someone who can at least compete to start.
Because you don't really have that true defensive tackle in the portal class, at least. Like,
yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, Kalu is like, I'm not going to, I don't have a ton to say about him. Don't know a ton about him. Kind of sporadic playing time over this first couple seasons. I mean, again, yeah, I agree, a depth piece. And you kind of forget about guys like this because, again, like Florida lost significant depth to the portal. So some of these pickups, like I said, you had to get a lot of guys because some of them just need to be guys to fill out a 2 deep. And I think this is one of those guys. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see. I think, there were some guys that certainly played. Like I would say Brandon Bett last year or this past year was a guy I would say played a little bit bigger a role than I was anticipating. Kind of expected he would just be a depth guy. He ended up seeing a pretty significant role.
Yeah, probably your best tackle.
Yes, and a guy that I think we both sort of thought would get overshadowed by guys like Lyons and some other guys there. So yeah, I mean, again, kind of a depth guy project. A lot of these project guys are like second year players. Like they're guys with like 2 more years of eligibility. So I don't think they're instant impact guys. They're more developmental project, short-term depth, which again, that's fine. You need some of those as long as that's not all you're taking.
Yeah, as long as that's not all you're taking. Okay, we'll move on from D. I do hope we take another starting caliber T tackle, or at least one who can compete in that role.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't like it, because I have really high expectations for McLeod and Bachu, the freshman. I think one of those guys could be starting by this year, by the end of the season. So I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I would like for us at least probably need someone who's going to be a nose tackle, because we don't have an insanely big body. I mean, no. So I would expect us to try and go get a nose tackle maybe. I mean,
are there I feel like there's not necessarily off the top of my head a lot of great options that are available that kind of fit that description. Fair. So I'm curious to see what we end up doing.
He's a lot better than you thought. Hey, I hope I'm wrong here.
Is he talking about Bet or is he talking about Kalu?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think he might have been. I think that might have been in reference to what I was saying about Bet. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, RN.
Yeah, 1109 from clear out for us, but our freshman depth, we just don't know where on 2 deep yet. I think they could be. I think one of those guys are going to be a starter by during next season. So okay, yeah, Bet. Okay,
yeah.
I
mean, he ended up being really good. I'm just saying, going into the year, I didn't really expect he was going to play a major role.
No. All right. Well, we'll move on to. I'll actually get to this real quick. We need the tight end from the Dogs, Pierce Sperlin, former 5-star. Sure. Again, I don't know. We don't know what he's like right now because he had the surgery.
Did he play in game? Did he play in games this year?
That's a great question. Now, does he have any stats? I mean,
he's old. He'd be a graduate transfer, right? Isn't he a upperclassman? No, he hasn't recorded. He hasn't recorded a stat. Yeah, all in 2023.
Yeah, he has that high. He has a farmer high 4-star, 5-star little 247 rating and everything. But I don't know if we say we need him. Yeah, we know he's clear now. We just don't know if he's any good or if he can.
Because he hasn't played. There's a difference being medically cleared and being ready to play.
Cause it was heart surgery, wasn't it?
I'm not 100% on that. I think you might be the first. I knew it was a medical issue, but I don't remember specifically what it was.
I think if you could only take one, I'd probably go the Georgia Tech tight end instead. But if you can take both, sure. I mean, give him a shot. He's from Rosemary Beach, Florida, so we'll see. We'll see there.
I'm fine to take a flyer. If you want to take a flyer, okay, but yeah.
Yeah, open heart surgery. But we talked about that earlier in the show. So if you want to go rewatch, we did offensive portal additions. We did tight ends after receivers. So if you're one, do that. Next, we're going to go into the position where we've maybe taken our best 2 players here in the DB unit. At safety. Earlier today, Cam Dooley. Okay, I don't know what he is on ESPN, but on 3, he's listed at 6'2", 195. Is a top 10 safety transfer.
Up to 208 now. Up to 208 now on ESPN.
Up to 208. Okay, yeah. So I really like this addition from Kentucky. A true safety. I think it's a pretty clear upgrade from Jordan Castell. As a sophomore this past season, was grading his coverage grades in the mid-70s. On PFF, has experience with our safeties coach and everything like that. I like the take. Pretty clear. I think he's going to start at one of the two safety spots next to Thornton, probably. If I had to guess, no guarantees. It's too early to really say there, but no, I really like Cam Dooley here. Someone with starting experience, but also still young enough to where you can see a bunch of improvement from him. And yeah, it's just a good take overall.
Yeah, reuniting with obviously Brad Davis and is it Chris Collins?
That's what I was thinking. I think that's it.
Okay, yeah, Chris Collins, the safeties. I hope to have that right. The safeties coach. Yeah, Chris Collins. Yeah, so so reuniting him with them. I mean, decent production. Seems solid. They yet another situation where this guy has worked with two, both directly as a position coach and as a DC, two guys that are on our staff. Got to assume that they would know if he can't play. And they wanted him here, so I'll take their word for it on that one. And yeah, I mean, it seems like a very nice pickup. We knew you needed to go get at least one starting caliber safety. I think you've certainly gotten at least one. With Dooley.
Yeah. Next, we're going to talk about DJ Coleman, our highest ranked transfer according to On3 here.
First commitment too, right? First guy to sign.
Ooh, he might have been. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he was the first. So it was either him or Bailey Stockton, I think.
He was definitely before Stockton. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, DJ Coleman from Baylor, highest ranked transfer portal commit. So he said he's gonna compete at both safety and star or nickel. He played nickel mostly at Baylor, was a really good nickel, graded out really highly there, especially his coverage grade. So that's gonna be nice to see. Great take here. This is someone that I was hearing about that Florida was really interested in before the portal really opened. And we got the first visit and we shut it down right away. So I really like that for DJ Coleman. And, he said he's going to also compete at safety. So maybe we see a battle there with him, Thornton, and Cam Dooley. But has a lot of experience at that nickel spot. And I think that's probably where we're going to end up seeing him starting next year.
Yeah, coming off a really solid season, 2 picks, 6 pass breakups. Upperclassman guy. He's a 1-year eligibility guy. Not the case for most of the guys we've talked about tonight. I'd say for the most part, they've more gone after younger multi-year options, but DJ Coleman is not. And yeah, I mean, I think again gives you a lot of what I think you're looking for in transfers, which is sort of both starting ability and positional versatility. Because I think that's going to be key, because I think Florida has a lot of questions, both with health of some guys in the secondary and just also with caliber of players in the secondary. Seems like a really nice pickup. Again, another guy that I think you could see pushing for a starting job one way or another. Like you said, probably at star, or we don't call it star anymore, right? Isn't there a different
I'm just going to say nickel. We'll just say nickel until I know the exact.
No, I was more just, but I think that Brad White and Summerall have their own terminology for that one.
Here, I'll pull it up. I'll pull up Kentucky's depth chart. I assume it's the same as Tulane's. They have it listed as our lad just says Nickelback.
Okay. Well, point being, I think they might have a slightly different word for it, because it describes
it is different. I've seen it. I'm just not fully sure.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, I think you would think he's likely to start there. Obviously, lost Sharif and Aaron Gates as well, so kind of an opening there for him.
Yeah, it really is. I know Lagonza Hayward, freshman last year, played decently well there. I've also heard Javari Flowers, if we're good at corner, he would probably also move over to nickelback, which, with his height, makes a bit more sense for him to be there in nickel. So I like to take with Coleman. Again, DB unit, I think we see one corner. That's what we're missing. One starting corner, and I feel great about the secondary.
And I mean, the secondary could be okay without that. It's just you really need Flowers and or Hanks to take steps this year. Like it just would,
or really Cormani.
or Cormani. I'll be honest.
And Dijon to be healthy.
Maybe I'm just a hater. Yeah, and Dijon to be healthy. And I think take another step too. Like I think he's solid, but I think you want to see him take another
like
step.
He's SEC starting level from what he was, but if he can take another step from that, that would really help secure that'd be that CB1 that Devin Moore was for us last season.
Agreed. And I saw a lot of people acting like Cormani was a huge retention, and maybe I'm just a hater. I don't really see it, but I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was kind of hoping that he would go to Auburn, but hey, now I'm gonna hope that he just develops and another year of another year can help him become that 5-star that he was in high school.
Yeah.
So really, all that's left on defense, and 1 D tackle. We don't need it, but I really want us to get a starting D tackle and a corner. Maybe we take another edge, Jordan Norman on campus, as I said, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing in this roster. I think.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I think, especially on this defense, we've attacked what we needed in the secondary, went and got an edge and retained Jaden Woods. Maybe that's an important piece there. So I really like what we're seeing, just a couple pieces away. And a couple pieces away from me being really excited, because I think we're at a point where I can be like, okay, I can see this being a good defense. You have proven coaches, John Summerall and Brad White. Like, I like the D line with Chapman. Like, just a couple pieces away from like, okay, I don't really care who the coaches are. This is probably gonna be a good unit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you are a left tackle, a D tackle, and not an elite corner, but just a starting caliber corner from, I would say, saying there's no glaring weaknesses, at least with the starting 22.
I will say, we're on the defensive side, so maybe I shouldn't be doing here, but one thing they'll probably get is that people, especially in the media, will look at quarterback. Yeah. Like Philo, unproven, Jermel Jones, unproven. Like, that's one thing, but, if we're going to trust Faulkner and Philo's his guy. So that's what we'll say here.
I mean, it's not like, we all are fired up about, maybe we want to end the segment here because it's kind of a non.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So defense, we're looking good. Just a couple pieces away. And again, Summerall's the coach, defensive guy, and Brad White, a proven SEC coordinator. I'm really liking where we're at. Just a couple pieces for loving where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah, no, what I was just starting to say. Yeah, Trammell does have a chance. I mean, I like we talked about it earlier in the show. It's hard to see him as the leader in the clubhouse just because he's not Faulkner's guy. But I'd say he certainly has a chance. No, but what I was just starting to say was like, we're all fired up about Faulkner and we want, this offense the way it looked, and it was very successful. But also like Haynes King, like if Haynes King had another year and he was coming with him, would you be like, I wouldn't be like super fired up about Haynes King.
Here, the offense would it have because we saw him put up 40-something at 42 against Georgia the year prior.
He can throw. Then he put up 9. 380-yard passing games. Like, it's not like he doesn't do it sometimes. But the point I'm just getting at is like, we can have questions about the quarterback, but it's not like he needed a world beater at quarterback to make it work at the Power 4 level in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. I agree there with you. I'm right there with you with Faulkner. Like, I trust the offense, even if the QB play isn't that great. It's still our offense is still gonna be able to do some things that it wasn't able to do under Billy Napier. Philo reminds me of Baker a little.
I don't think he's as mobile as Baker. But
I'm pretty sure he's less mobile. Like, he's not a Haynes King with mobility.
Build wise, he's kind of similar. And I think, people talk about, his ability to throw the deep ball. So I can maybe see some of those comparisons. But yeah, I don't think he moves quite like Baker did.
Yeah. But no, fun stream. Able to get, we were hoping that we would get Jaden Robinson to pop live here. That's why we saved the defensive segment for last. So that works out really well there. Who'd I say?
Jaden Robinson.
Yeah, I meant Jaden Woods. I
was like, is there an outstanding? Is he like awaiting on a deal that I hadn't heard about? I was confused for a second.
Jaden Robinson is back 100%.
That's what I thought.
It's on me. But no, it's great for all this stuff to happen. And man, we're just a couple pieces away. from being where we're going to feel comfortable for next season.
But hey, 48 hours ago, we were a lot more than a couple pieces away. So glad, it's kind of nice to see things move quickly in the portal and see kind of some volume in the portal. Two things that we really have not gotten a lot of the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Jaden Robinson is a dude, though. He is a dude.
Pretty dang good. But no, you can see the dog there in the back starting to get antsy. So we're going to end this perfect timing there. We're going to end the show here tonight, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. You can become a member here for $2.99 a month. We will be live Sunday night. Hopefully, nothing goes wrong there. But we'll see you guys then. Hopefully, we have some more transfer portal news to talk about then. And you guys have a great week. And as always, go Gators.